I want to speak briefly about Ministry Safe. This is an organization owned by two lawyers in Texas. The chapel hired Kimberly Norris, one of the lawyer owners, to do a telephone and email survey to find possible complaints that involved the ranch. John Camardo said the chapel made a down payment of $40,000 for this survey, and likely the chapel has paid them thousands of dollars since that. Ministry Safe says they are a victim-centric organization. They talk to people who claim to be victims of sex abuse and take down their accounts of what happened. They also talk to people who have secondhand or third-hand information, what would normally be called gossip or rumor. Think about that for just a minute. $40,000 to find people who have never complained about something and then convince them that they have a reason to complain. That's not investigation. That's instigation. The odd thing about my case is that the folks from Ministry Safe never talked to me. They never had any explanation of the facts from me. They just weren't hired to do that. I was always available to be interviewed. They never even called me. One of the important messages in Ministry Safe's promotional literature is an instruction to churches that might become their clients. They say in print, never tell your congregation that someone is innocent until proven guilty. Again, the American standards of justice are turned on their heads by this for-profit organization. The congregation of the chapel was told how to contact Ministry Safe, and that no matter what they had to say, good or bad, they would be interviewed. People have given me their affidavits saying that they followed the chapel's instructions, but because they were supporters of me and our ministry, they were never contacted. It turns out that no one who supported us was ever interviewed. Imagine if a prosecutor in a case was allowed to ignore evidence that they didn't want to include. That's the standard that Ministry Safe set in their supposed impartial investigation. All of these affidavits are filed with the court. There's a link to the court website right here on our website. Here is the two-page report of the survey from Ministry Safe. In it are a number of phrases provided by the Ministry Safe people. But these phrases are not assigned to any one person, and there's no context given for them. No names, no dates, no places, no times. This has deliberately hobbled me in any effort at the time these accusations were made to prove these statements are false. They literally made the broadest of accusations and offered no substantiating evidence. John Camardo didn't send us a copy of the report until 2 days after the report was leaked to the press. Channel 7, which is closely associated with the chapel, was provided a copy of the report. They requested an interview before we ever saw the report. In fact, the first time myself or my wife had ever heard the accusing phrases was when the reporter read them to us as we were being filmed. Please imagine for a moment, you are interviewed by a supposedly fair and balanced press and only learn of the specific nature of allegations against you while you're being filmed. This is the stuff of daytime trash TV talk shows, not serious investigation or serious journalism. Some people have appeared to support the complaints, as is their right. However, much of what has been said or reportedly said is a sad slanting of the facts. Here's one example. One person has said repeatedly that I would counsel girls at night in a dark office. It is true that parts of the office are unlighted at night when they are not in use and nobody is present. But reporting that, together with an accusation against me, leads to an assumption that is completely false. Let me show you. This is the office that I use. I would sit here, and whoever I was talking to would sit there. The door was always open, and my lights and the lights in the reception area were always on. At night, this is what it looks like. As you can see from quite a distance outside the office, anyone can look directly into the office and see who is there and what is going on. The time referred to in this particular accusation would have been a Sunday night when the staff had free time and could go into town if they needed to. The sign-in sheet that they had to sign out on when they left and sign in when they returned was right here. Often people would interrupt me to ask a question or just say hi as they returned from town. There was nothing secluded here. It is accurate that the back half of the office was dark because there was no one there. It is absolutely false that I was counseling anyone in the dark. The way it was communicated would lead you to assume something that was not true. It was, in essence, an effort to color people's perceptions by inventing details. Let me offer another example of a skewed description. There is a man who has repeatedly said that he has tried to arrange a meeting with me, but I refused. That is not true. He did call me, and he was ranting at me for quite a while, and near the end of it all, he said that he could pull together people and pastors, and then he stopped mid-rant and said, but that would just turn into a circus. I said, you're probably right. How about this? I will create a new email account, and anyone who has any problem with me can email me. They can even create a different email so they can be completely anonymous, and I will respond to each one. He said, yeah, I can do that. That could work. We prayed together, and that was it. I created the account, but I've never received any emails. From what I have heard in the media, he has evidently changed his mind. My family and I have been abused by both the legacy media and social media. There has been an avalanche of hate and maliciousness poured out on us. Under federal law, the social media platforms are not responsible for the harm done when people post false information. On social media, people can twist the truth and outright lie if they wish, and they have. We've not responded to the social media attacks. When people who claim to be Christians use the same verbiage and hate-filled communication as the rest of the world, I believe it harms the cause of Christ and his reputation in the world. I have never heard of a Facebook argument ending well. I've yet to see an angry emoji solve anything. If you are a follower of Christ, I would ask that you join us in prayer that the truth would come out, that somehow God would be glorified in all of this, and that our ministry will continue to be used by God. Those who campaign against us reportedly have been meeting and calling pastors, telling them not to send anyone to Circle C Ranch. They have also reportedly been calling and meeting with our donors, trying to persuade them to stop supporting us. Our opponents bank on some participants and donors making their decisions without talking to us to hear our facts. You know, there's actually a precedent for all this in the Bible. In Proverbs 18:17, which tells us the first to plead his case seems right until another comes and examines him. That's why I'm here today. I'm ready to tell my side of the story and provide the actual facts. We tried for more than a year and a half to deal with this campaign against us in a responsible manner, a manner that upheld Christ's teachings, that is, without resort to personal attacks or involvement of the press. We were patient. We sought the help of professionals who could investigate these complaints that were just not based on facts. The factors the experts identified led us to file a complaint against John Camardo and the chapel in the civil courts. We will seek justice. We will do so in a manner that continues to honor both Christ and the rule of law, but we will do so with exoneration as our goal. All the papers of this case can be accessed through this website. If you're watching this and you are not a follower of Christ, please hear me. The hate, the maliciousness, the anger, that's not Jesus. It's not how he works. It's not how it's supposed to be. I would encourage you to find out who Jesus really is. Read the Gospel of John. The most important thing about all of this is that you do not leave this planet without a personal relationship with Jesus Christ. That's what our ministry has always been about. And our ministry continues. So thank you for taking the time to watch this, and may God bless you.